correct. So what I'll do is I'll say training T is equal to training optional object dot, I'll say get. So I get the actual object T dot, I say set title. Okay, set long title. Okay, and I say something else over here. Now when I say training repo, okay, dot save, now I say T over here. What will it do? Because this object by the virtue of findById is already there in the session.
Correct.
Okay, 245, and on that object you are already, you know, changing the state of it. It will mark that object. Thank you for asking this question. It will mark this object the moment you fire a setter method on it, on an object which is already there in Hibernate session object. In Hibernate session, that object is already there, and if you fire a setter on it, it will mark that object as dirty.
Okay.
I repeat, it will mark that object as dirty. Now, when you say training report.save, it will actually put to the, it will fire an update statement here because it is dirty.
Okay.
You may have 100 objects over here, but only those objects which are marked as dirty will have an update fired here.
Okay. Okay. And consecutively, the latest properties which got updated will again get restored into this Hibernate session.
Yes, it is actually by reference. It doesn't need to put it back. It is the same memory location where the value has changed. Hibernate session is also pointing to the same, you know. So just a minute. See here. You can see me, right? You can see me. So there is, yeah. So suppose this is that memory area, right? This is that memory area. And in this memory area, this is that Hibernate object that you can see here. Sorry, in the Hibernate session, consider this entire black thing as the Hibernate session, the memory area. In that, this white thing that you see is training object 245. Now, from anywhere in the entire application, you are pointing to the same object. So if from here you do the setter or the Hibernate takes that object and fires an update, whatever, it need not put it back. It's the same memory location where the values has changed.
Okay.
So answer to your question is yes, the same object which is there in the Hibernate session, the values are changed and it is there. The changed values are there in the session object.
Okay. Fine.
Right? All right. So that's how it is. It works. And now suppose there is also something called training repo dot delete by ID. Right now, and if I fire 245 over here, what is it supposed to do? It is supposed to mark that object for deletion. Right, and the moment your thread completes, automatically there is something called flush that is happening. We will come to that flush part later. There is a flush that is happening, and all the objects that are marked for deletion will fire a delete over here. Right. In short, let me now summarize this whole thing. Let me summarize it. As you go on bringing objects from database into Hibernate session using finder methods, using, I'll say, finder general, findById or whatever, finder methods, it starts accumulating those objects over here. If you create a new one, that new object is also over here. If you update the existing object, that updated object is also over here. If you delete any object, that is also over here. And when the flush happens, it will synchronize the state of that Hibernate session with the database. It will fire all the required inserts and updates and deletes. Right? And what happens? Why are you seeing that immediate select statements over here on the console? Because my function starts from here and immediately ends here. So the moment the function ends, actually it ends up calling flush internally, and the session object gets flushed, and you get the data flushed here in the database. You got that?
Yeah.
Okay. Select happens immediately. Update, insert, delete are lazy. I repeat, insert, update, delete are. Insert is lazy. We will check it out. I know the way to check it out, and we will check it out whether it is lazy at the time of flushing. It happens. I believe it happens at the time of flushing only. And since our thread gets completed on that particular function, flush happens automatically and everything is synchronized. We will come to that. All right.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, that's how it is. Okay, so now I'm going to come back over here. So now let me very quickly, remove all of this thing that I have written over here, which is, I don't want to, okay. Oh, there are so many things that I have written here. Okay, I will remove all of this. And then I will go back to my original code that I had written over here. One is findById and that is getOne. What is the difference? Here, findById is fired. Okay. And then If at all it is not there or there, I do get training opt to, and by the nature of this API, I say training opt to, okay, here dot, I'll say is present, will tell me whether, the object is there or not. So if the select statement had failed, it will fire, it will give me the, it is present will be equal to false if it has failed. That means there is no object of, with whatever I pass in the parameter. Suppose I pass 246, which is not there at all. Okay. Then in that case, is present will return a false. If I fire something which is already there in the database, the primary key is there by the training ID, it is present will be equal to true. Whereas in this case, training will be null. This will be null. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain to you in this format. See this, I already have this. Okay, training opt dot get, and training, here it is getOne, here it is findById. In both the cases, it will be one object, but training, here it is returning an optional, whereas here it is returning the entire object. Now see this, I click here, I click here. Okay, so I go back to my postman, and here 245 is existing. So I say send, and I get the data, and there are two, there is one select statement. Of course, one. Why is one select statement? Because by findById, it has already retrieved. It is there in Hibernate session. So when getOne was fired, it says it is already there in the session, and it returned back the same training object. See the ID of this and see the ID of this. This is the hash code. This is the hash code. See the hash code. See the hash code. It's exactly the same. So what does that mean? What I get from training optional.get and what I get for training over here, getOne and findById, is exactly the same object. Why same object? Because it is picking up from the cache. It did not care to fire a select statement again, because by the identity 245, there is already an object in memory by the virtue of this findById. Why would it fire a select statement again? It will pick it up from the cache. Confirm to me that this point is very clear.
Clear, sir, very clear.
Okay, great, super. Now I'm going to set 246. Here I'll set 246, which is not existing. I'll click on send, right? And then I go back over here. That's okay. I'm getting that distance. But then you see this select statement was fired. Okay. And here you can see this training. Okay, no, sorry. Clear this. Okay, now see this console over here. You can see this select statement was fired once, it did not find. So there is nothing in the session object. It again fired a select statement, correct? Because it was not there in the session object, it cared to fire. But now you can see this entity not found exception is fired when I say, training opt dot get. Wait a minute. Now wait, sorry. See this. I want to explain to you the difference between these two, findById and getOne. Okay, see the difference now. I will comment this. Okay. Okay. Let me print system.out.println. I'll say training opt. Okay. Dot. I'll say get. Right. This is what I'm doing. I'll write thread.sleep. I'm putting this thread to sleep for 5 seconds. Okay, I'm putting this thread to sleep for 5 seconds. When findById is fired, the thread in which this was executing will be sleeping for 5 seconds, and then I'll say training opt dot this, optional object dot get. See what happens. Okay, I go back over here. First, let me give the one that is existing, 245. I click on send. It fired a select statement. After 5 seconds, I'm saying training opt.get, and I get the value over here of the training object. And if I say .get title, okay, long title, it will actually give me the long title also. I'm saying training opt.get will give me the training object. On that training object, I'm saying get long title, and I get the values after 5 seconds. Okay, after 5 seconds, I'm going to get the value. Okay, here you are. Learn how to architect. This is the long title of that particular training program, right? So far, so good. Now I'm going to, okay, change. I'll keep this as it is. I'll comment it. I'll say training because training repo dot, when I say getOne, it is not returning an optional. I'll say training ID here like this. And now I'm going to write, okay, wait a minute. I will once again keep exactly as it is. I'm not redeploying because this was the code anyways. I will fire something like 246, which is not there. Okay, and you see this over here. It was supposed to throw me a null pointer. After 5 seconds, no value present, no such. Because see, the moment I say dot get, it says no value present. You can see this here. The moment I say dot get, what is the exception thrown? No value present is the exception thrown. Try and understand this. Forget about this sleep. Sorry, I had something else on my mind that did not work. So I'll come back to this. See the behavior. See the behavior. Okay. If once again, I will run this. Let's understand the behavior of find by ID. There is a subtle difference between the two. Okay, I fire something which is already existing. No problem. It fired a select statement and it gave me the value of long title. Okay, I'll clear the console. I'll say 246. I say send. This time it fired a select statement, but when I say dot get, you see it threw an exception saying no value present. No such element exception is what it says. Correct? So if at all you are going by this API, then you'll say if this is the better way of working on it. Training opt dot is present. Only then you say get. Else you don't get at all. You say system.out.println, no value found. You handle it gracefully. Like the way we were handling it gracefully over here with response entity. Anyway, that's a different story, which I have already explained to you. But try and understand the behavior of this. If it is found, good. If it is not found, it will throw an exception if you try to get. Hence, it is better that you check whether it was found or not using is present. Okay, see this. I say 245. It's all good, right? I get the value. I clear the console. I say 246. I say send, and you can see this no value found as a result of this. If I fire training opt.get here, in spite of the fact that it is not found, it will throw an exception. What is the name of that exception? No value found exception. Okay, this is how it behaves in case of optional, in case of find by ID. Now let's see how it behaves in case of getOne. System.out.println. I'll say directly training. There is no question of optional here. There is no question of is present or anything. I have to directly give this, over here. I will just comment this for the time being. Okay, I will comment this for the time being, and I'll say return new response entity, and I'll say training, comma, HTTP status dot. Okay, fine. I'm hard coded this. Okay, now let's see the behavior. Right, this is how I have. Now I will run this. I'm showing you the difference between find by ID and getOne, so you know when to fire what. It's your choice how you want to actually use this stuff. Now you know what. See this. I go back and I give 245, so shouldn't be a problem at all. I must be able to get everything right. Sorry. Oh. What happened? It's going in a loop or something. Return new response entity training HTTP status. Okay, and here you go. We will. Oh, that's a problem. Training ID. Okay. Okay. Now I'll say 245, which is existing. What happened? Training ID, training report, training. Okay. I got the model. Invalid definition exception. No serializer found for ByteBuddy. No properties discovered. Bean serializer. Okay. Fail on empty type definition. Hibernate proxy stuff and all. It is a proxy object. Yes. Superb. Now you know what this does. This training object that it returns back is actually a proxy object. I repeat, it is actually a proxy object, not the actual training object. It looks like a training object, but behind the scenes, there is another class dynamically generated using JDK proxy. I repeat, using JDK proxy. And here I will have to say training.get title. And when I say get title over here, okay, I'll just say get, sorry, long title here. Okay, I'll just do this. I'm not even storing it anywhere. Okay, now let me check when I retrieve this. I go back. It's a 245. Okay. Now again, there is a problem here because it is unable to actually get the serializer for the object behind the scenes. You know what? You might be thinking this training object is of type training object. Let me show that to you over here. System.out.println. This new response entity is of type training perfect. Okay. And here I will write what, training dot get class dot get name. And I will show you that this is, you may think that this is a training object, but actually it's not. I will write system training dot, I'll say get title, get, okay, training ID is get long title. Okay, this is what I'm printing. I'll say thread dot sleep for 5 seconds. Let me run this once again. Usually we don't use getOne, we always use findById. You might have seen in our entire application, but it is important for you to know, because since even I have not used it since long, I'm fumbling a bit on this, but I will definitely be able to explain. Now see this here. You can see this, my dear friend, when I say superb, see this. See the select statement. See, what am I getting over here? Training Hibernate proxy. Where am I getting the statement? I can explain this. Wow. See this. Where is that? I have fired getOne over here, my dear friends. All with me? Ram, you're with me?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the statement on line number 78. I have said training is equal to training report.getOne.
Right.
Please see on line number 80, I am printing the name of the actual class.
Right.
See, the name of the class is training $Hibernate proxy. Please note, it did not fire a select statement at the time of getOne. There is no select statement fired here. After that, I put system.out.println, that is executed. After that, I say system.out.println, I say training.getLong title. Whenever I fire with getOne, this is the behavior. Listen to this carefully. With getOne, this is the behavior. The behavior is that with getOne, it will not care to fire the select statement. I repeat, with getOne, it will not care to fire the select statement immediately. It will create a proxy object like this. Okay. And this class, this proxy object internally ends up extending from this training class.
Okay.
I repeat, internally, this is created by JDK proxy. There is a concept of JDK proxy. Okay. JDK proxy. You can see proxy over here. You've got java.lang.reflect.proxy. Can you see this class here?
Yeah.
Right, introduced from 1.3 onwards, java.lang.proxy. It is this proxy, JDK proxy, that it uses in order to, on the fly, create a class like this, which extends from this training class, and the object of that class is created, and the value whichever you have used, say 245 is set in the training ID or whatever is the property of the primary key. It is set. It does not fire a select statement. I repeat, it does not fire a select statement. I will prove this to you. Why? By commenting this. Okay. And I will comment this also. I don't need it. Here, I will simply say null. I will simply say null. It will not throw any exception. And what I'm going to get back is nothing on my response. See this. As a result of getOne, you may think that there will be a select statement fired. No, there will not be any select statement fired. Please see this. Okay. See this right here in front of you. It is 245, which is valid. Okay. I'm firing a send over here. I get the value back immediately with status as 200 and okay. Nothing is returned back. No exception at all. Where is the select statement? There is no select statement. No select statement. So the behavior of this getOne is what? It differs. It is the lazy select statement. What it says is that only and only, it says, I repeat, only and only when you fire a getter method on any property that is non-primary. Got it?
Yeah.
What Hibernate says, whenever you say get one, I am going to not fire a select statement. I will just create a proxy object. You know what is proxy? Proxy war. You know, see, Pakistan plays proxy war with us, isn't it? The proxy is something which is there but not real. I mean, it's kind of pseudo. So it creates a proxy object extending from this training class. Okay, see, this is the name of the class, which is dynamically generated, extended from training class. It creates an object of that class, and it says, since it is extended from training, it will have all the properties, training ID, title, as well as it will have whatever the fields are. And it stores only and only the training ID 245 in it. It doesn't care to fire a select statement unless you fire a getter method on anything other than the primary key. Long title, please note, is not the primary key. Primary key happens to be this training ID. Got it? So now, since you have fired at least one property other than the primary key, you have fired a getter on one property. Now it says, oh, I have to bring the value of long title. I have to fire a select statement. Then only I'll get the value of long title. Then it fires a select statement. Okay, now you see this. I will keep everything as it is, and I will run this. Okay, I'll clear this up here. I go back and I'll say send. Okay, once again it works. This time, since I have used get long title, it fires the select statement. Take a look. That too, after I have said get long title, it has fired a select statement. Before that, when I printed just the value of the name of the class, it did not fire the select statement. After I have said get long title, it fired a select statement. You got this here?
Yep.
Right? And my response entity is actually unable to serialize. We're supposed to convert it to a JSON object. It is supposed to convert the training object to a JSON object, but training happens to be actually of a proxy, and it fails the serialization over here. If I really wanted to do this, still I can do it. I'll say training T is equal to new training over here, and then I'll say bean utils dot copy properties. I'll say the source is training and the target is T, and I will pass that T as a parameter. So what I'm doing is I'm cloning that object, kind of, I'm kind of copying the object. I'm creating a new object, copying the properties of one object to the other object, and I'm returning back T. This should give me the results I'm expecting. There shouldn't be any problem over here. Okay. Okay. Come on, re baba. Ho gaya. Now I go back and I say send, and I'm expecting the values here. Okay, no errors at all. I get the entire value with get one. You can see this with get what? With get one. You got that? With get one. That's how it is. So this is the difference in the behavior. I would always recommend you to use what? Don't use this.
Don't use
Always
get
use.
one.
Yeah, use this. And I think my machine is going slow. I don't know for what reason. I don't know what reason it's going slow. Let me check the activity monitor. Which application is taking maximum memory? It's zoom.us because it is recording. CPU time also, that is taking maximum. That's how it is. No problem. Okay, I will do what I will go back. I'll say more, and I'll say resume recording. Okay, so it is 5:32 now. I would want to cover few more things over here very quickly, for you all. So you have understood find by ID and find by one. Always use find by ID. Always use this kind of a thing, that if it is present, then get the value, or else no. Okay, and then on the training repo itself, let's see what other out of the box, I would say, out of the box training repo finder methods are available. Find by example. You can create an example object and pass that as a parameter. This helps you in searching. I repeat, this helps you in searching. We will cover that later on. We have used this find by example. We have used this in case of our Avana application. We have used it, and we have used it for that filter. There are a lot of filters on the dashboard itself. Clicking on that booking ID by this, by that, you want to filter. There I have used it. Find by example, find all by pageable. Now, what is this pageable? You know, this helps me to specify page request. You can see this here, dot off, and I say 0, 10. What does this mean? Of the 0th page, give me, I hope that's how it is, of the first is page, sorry, first is page. The first page, I think it starts with 1. If I say 10, it will retrieve only 10 records. It will retrieve only and only 10 records. I can very well use this over here in order to demonstrate to you. You can see this find all over here. I can say page request dot, I say off, I'll say 1, and I'll say only and only 5 records. You see this? This is what I'm going to do. So what is it that I'm going to get over here? I'm going to get not the list, but the page of training, right? Page. You can see that org.springframework.data.domain.page. I'll get the page over here. And what I'm going to return back is, you know, trainings dot get content. Okay. Or else I can return the entire page itself. Okay. It will serialize training page. Okay. And I'll say training page. So the only thing here is that instead of this, I'll say page of training. Okay. Let me do this. You can see this. I have hard coded 1 to 5. In real life, you will be taking from the user interface, right? Over the API. How many records you want of what page? This is called pagination. Okay. Let me do this. This is, you know, how it is. Let me retrieve this. I mean, rerun this. Okay, I go back over here and I say trainings. I will remove this and I say send. It will not bring all the training, but only and only 5 trainings. You can see this, but there is a content of field over here. In that content, I will have 5 trainings only. You can see this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You can see this 5 trainings only. And then it gives me all the information pageable. Sorted is equal to false. We have not sorted it. Offset is 5, pages 5, total pages is 7. It tells you that. Total pages is, that means 7 5s are 35. There are 35 trainings there. You got it? Total elements is 34. Yeah, you know, 1 less. And then size is 5. Is this the last page, true or false? It gives you that. Number of elements in this particular page is 5. You can see this number is 1, and so on. You got that? Ram, you got it? Pagination.
Yeah.
Pagination is what you get. Very simple stuff, pagination. Then you have other things also. Training repo dot, you can say get, okay, that's only get one. Delete all is also there. Be very careful. This will end up deleting, right? If you by mistake fire this, and if it goes in production, then you will be ready with your paper. You've got to submit your papers, right? So that's what it is. Okay, and then you have delete all, iterable. I have not used this. We will see that delete all in batches also there. It will delete entries in batches. I believe I'll have to see again. Delete by ID will delete, you know, one single thing. Exists again. This tells you, this helps you to search. This helps you to find out whether example object that you have. Example object is actually exactly the object of that. If it is training class, training class. So suppose there are 10 fields. You put the value in 3-4 fields and pass it as a parameter. It will try to find the record which matches the values of all of those 3-4 fields. I will take that up separately. Don't worry. Exist by ID, again, this will return to you Boolean. If I say, you know, 245, it will return to me true or false, whether it exists or not, whether that record exists or not. So that's what it does, you know. And then I'll say, okay, exist by ID. You must actually try each one of these, you know, you must try. And save is to actually save. I have shown you to insert and to update. Save all. You may have 5 or 6 entity objects created, my dear. Please see this. I may say training T1 is equal to new training. Okay. And then you say T1 dot set long title, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then again, you have training. Okay. T2 is equal to new training over here. Okay. Like this. Correct. And then you say T2 dot set title, long title, and all the other properties. Okay. Then what do you want to do? You want to save all of these two. You want to fire select state, insert statements in one shot. How will you do it? You'll say training repo dot save all. You can see the save all. So save all takes what? It takes an iterable. What is an iterable? A list is an iterable. So I can always put in arrays dot as list, and in brackets I can say T1 comma T2. What will this do? it will fire insert statements for both of these new objects here. You got it, Ram?
Clear, clear.
Yeah, right, great. So training report dot, then you've got save all, save and flush. What is the save and flush? Don't wait for the session object to get completed or the session object to get destroyed or a transaction to be completed. Immediately you save and fire and insert immediately flush the data to the database. Okay, I want to take up that flush thing in detail. Fine, that's fine. You know what? So I have covered a lot of things. Now I'll tell you what is pending that we must actually cover. Okay, I'll tell you what is pending. Oh, my system has gone really very slow. Okay, no. So stickies. Okay, now see this. Please make note of this in your own personal notepad or somewhere so that you have to remind me that these are the things to be. Okay, I need to say entity manager is to be covered. I need to cover the concept of flush. Okay, I need to cover the concept of flush. And then I also need to talk about the custom finder methods. Okay, then I also need to talk about custom queries. Okay, this is what I need to talk about. So I will go in this order. I will take entity manager the last. Okay, this is how I think I can cover flush right away. Just a minute. Okay, let me create a new API over here. Okay, I'll say @get mapping. You will never ever create a get mapping like this. I'm just, for the sake of v1 / I'm saying yaba daba do. Okay, I hope you're getting it. And I mean, I'm just making up an API to invoke something. Okay, to invoke it. Public void invoke insert. I'll write demo flush. Okay, and here I'm saying training. Okay, this time, you know what, I'll go to the training class because I do not want to spoil I'll say training demo. Okay, that is my original class. So I won't training. I'll say T1 is equal to new training. You got this? Training T1 is equal to new training. I'll say T1 dot set long title demo training. T1 dot set. Okay, sorry. T1 dot set short title. I'll say JPA training. Okay, and here I'll say JPA comprehensive, something like this. Okay, and that there is auto incrementation of the ID, so it will automatically increment. Okay, now I'm going to do what? I'll say training repo dot, I'll say save what? T1. You got it? I will deliberately put the thread dot sleep over here for 5 seconds. Okay, instead let me make it for 10 seconds. Okay, there is a reason why I'm doing this. Okay, and then I'll say system.out.println after sleep is completed, and I'll say system.out.println after training repo dot save. Okay, and there is a sleep in between. Let me run this. So how will I invoke this API? Just by firing v1 / yabadabadu. Okay, I come back over here. Mansi, I go back to my postman and I will get plus. And I'll say http localhost 8080 / okay v1 / yabadabadu, right? So this will get executed. I'll say send. Okay, what happened? IDs for this class must be okay, there is no auto generation, so no problem. I'll say okay, I'll say set training ID. I'll say 20. Okay, over here, let me. Okay, I'm here. Correct. Now I go back again over here and I say send. Okay, now see this. Training repo.save has happened. Select was fired. Why was select fired? Okay, after sleep is completed. Yeah, Assalamu alaikum. I know. We'll leave in a few minutes. I know. Please, I'm in the middle of the training. Okay, after sleep is completed. Okay, now what I was expecting was it fired the it fired the insert statement before save itself after save. That means I've given this, and the moment it encountered save, it actually fired the insert statement. Okay, so insert is also eager, right? Insert is also eager, and it fired a select statement also to find whether there is already a training ID with the ID 20 or not. You're getting it?
Right.
It tried to do that. It tried to do that, right? Now, what I wanted to actually do is that, so insert was fired, and I said training report dot, I'll say training. Okay, let me do this. So that means I'm going to SQL Pro. It's raining heavily over here.
Oh.
It's nice actually. We needed this rain, these rains. Okay, and I say training demo. So 20 is there. Okay, 20 is there. Now, okay, let me demonstrate this. Maybe. So I will not fire a new. I'll say training T1 is equal to, I'll say training repo dot by ID, and I'll say 20 over here dot. I will say get. Why am I doing that get immediately? I know very well that 20 is there. I want to demonstrate something. I know it's there. We are hard coding values here, so that's fine. Now what I'm going to do is I'll say T1 dot set long title. I'll say changed title. All right, changed title. Okay, wait. Okay, changed title. Let me still go ahead. And then I say save, and I say after training report or say, what am I expecting over here? Insert statement or an update?
Update.
Update. Okay, let's see. Let's see when that update gets fired. I've said set over here. I go back. I again execute that yabba-dabba-do. Okay. Okay, here you are. You can see, oh, it fired update immediately. Fine, no problem. Just a minute. I think I missed this point, and that is the reason. Again, I say change title. I say dot, dot, dot. Okay, one more important point. If suppose I don't change the value, and if I keep, even if I fire the setter method, and if the value is not changed, it will not consider that object as dirty, and it will not fire an update. I have made this transactional just a minute. Okay. Now see. Now see. It is sleeping for 10 seconds. This thread is sleeping for 10 seconds. After 10 seconds update, it was fired not on save.
Okay.
You got this? Why?
So what is the difference?
Because
What
I
we did?
have made this particular. I did transactional, Ram.
Okay.
I made it transactional. What do you mean by transactional is that only and only when the entire transaction gets completed, that is, this entire method is transactional, and only when this it encounters the brace bracket over here, it will then fire all the updates. Why I'm saying all the updates? I am updating only one object. I might have updated more than one object. Whatever is there in that Hibernate session object, you remember?
Yeah. Yeah.
All that is there in Hibernate session object. If it is transactional, it will in one shot try to send everything to the database, so that if at all there is any exception, it can roll back everything.
Okay.
You
So this
got that?
behavior is the same for insert also.
Okay, let's check it out. Yes, it must be same for insert. I think insert is eager. I'll make it now. You know what? I'll do this, and I will uncomment this. Okay, this time I will have to make it 21. Okay, and I'll say training T1 is equal to new training here like this. Okay, training. And then everything is fine. That's okay. I don't need this. It's anyways a new object. And then I'm saving it. Okay, let's see this. Insert. Let's check. Let's check. I'm sorry, unable to, join the strings there. Let's see this. Okay, so it's a new 21 object, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let me change this to data. And this, let me change this to data. No, There's no point in changing now because I've already started it. I don't want to start it again. I'll say send. Yes, the same thing, the same behavior. You see, it has executed save. It is executed this SOP over here, and thread.sleep is there 10 seconds. After 10 seconds, it has fired an insert. Yes, same behavior.
Okay.
You got that? That's how it is. And all your service classes, I repeat, do you think we are going to write our we are going to write our repository, we are going to use a repository here? Do you
No.
think in REST controllers? No. Okay, so let me go back over here. Sorry. This is such an important point. I don't want to miss it. Okay, let me say again over here. Always remember, this is your REST controller. Okay, this REST controller will make a call to a particular service class. Okay, this will make a call to the service. Now listen to this very carefully. You must understand this very carefully. Huh? You've got a service class. This service class in turn will make a call to what? Tell me.
DOE class.
Yeah, superb. It will make a call to, yes, DAO class. Okay, this service class in turn will make a call to DAO class. Am I right? Now, it's quite possible that from one service class, you may make a call to multiple DAOs. Come on, yes or no?
Possible.
Very much possible. So tell me, where do you think you must start a transaction, in DAOs or you must start a transaction in service? You must always start a transaction in service. Your services will always be transactional. If I am not mistaken, I did explain this to you. What kind of services will be transactional? All those services which are not get, but either in which results into creating something or updating something or deleting something. Right? They are supposed to be what? They are supposed to be, those kind of services are supposed to be transactional in nature. Oops. These are supposed to be you got this? Services, always you will start at the rate, transaction will always be on top of what? Services.
Service.
You got it? So that, from you make a call to one DAO, another DAO, this DAO will be for one particular table, this DAO may be for another table in the database, through respective repositories, but all of them will be in that one single transaction. So don't forget, if at all, from one REST controller, one method, if at all, from one method, if you at all end up calling two services, wherein this is also transaction, this is also transaction, listen to this, this two will be two different transactions, Ram.
Right.
Maybe Ajumal and Tufail cannot understand transactions for the moment now, but these are two different transactions. That means this may commit a rollback all on its own, irrespective of whether this is committing or rolling back.
Right.
You got that? So ideally, transactional service from a REST controller must be one single transactional service. Otherwise, from here, if you are from this, some DAO you're updating, from here, even if you use this DAO to update, still this is a different transaction object. Right? Very clear how transactions work? Superb. This was again very, very important topic, transactions, and see this over here. So this is how it differs till the time the transaction is not completed. Why? Because by default, application.properties spring dot transaction. Okay, wait a minute. I'll say spring dot commit. There is something called commit on transaction. Enable auto commit on return, enable two-phase commit. See, all of these are there. It's all of this, Ram. I mean, you can understand this better than anyone else. Commit on interval, commit on return, auto commit, phase commit, rollback on commit failure, enable auto commit. Whether the consumer's offset is periodically committed in the background, on the return, deprecated, auto commit, data source. Anyway, I'm not getting it. Otherwise, there is a way to set up that transaction. It must be committed based on transaction. As soon as transaction is completed, default transaction. Well, I'm not getting it. Leave it. Okay. Now, wait. See what happened. only and only when the transaction was completed that it sent everything to the database. Am I right, Ram? That point is clear.
Clear.
Okay. Now,
I
what
just
for?
had one.
Sure.
Maybe. So in this transaction, say I have 3 inserts,
Yes.
right? And after when it encountered that close brace, it executed the 3 inserts.
Yes.
First row inserted, second got errored out. Then in that particular case, the first insert which happened, it will get rolled back, right? Or it will insert. Yeah. Okay. Great.
Roll back. Otherwise, what's the use of transactions? Any exception encountered before this, forget about all the 3. Suppose all the 3 inserts were successful. Okay. First of all, till the time transaction is not getting committed, will not. But suppose you throw an exception from your new, throw new runtime exception. Suppose any exception, okay, any exception, say, okay, dummy. You throw an exception, transaction will be rolled back.
Okay.
From anywhere in this entire function, because it is marked as transactional. If at all any exception is thrown, it will be rolled back. Everything will be rolled back. All the inserts, update, deletes will be rolled back.
Okay, great.
Okay, that's how it is. Now, next is what I want to display here is that for some reason, because I have done that in one single place in my application, in our one application, customer portal, I've done that in one place. So if at all you have some pressing reason to say that no, don't wait for the transaction to commit. The moment I say save, my inserts must be executed. My insert must be executed. May not be committed by now. It may not be committed, but insert must be executed so that next time when I have a select statement or through some other thread, something, it must bring back that for some pressing reason you want to fire. What will I do? I will say @auto-wired. I'll catch hold of entity manager EM over here. I will catch hold of entity manager. And here, see, I've not given, I've given, sleep over here and I'm not completing it. Immediately after this, okay, I'll do one thing. Let this be there for, again, I'll say thread.sleep for 5 seconds. I'll say after save, will flush now. Okay, this is what I'm saying. I'll write system.out.println flushing now. I'll say will flush after 5 seconds. Okay, and I'll say after 5 seconds, I flush now. em dot that entity manager dot, I'll say flush. Now when I do this system.out.println, I'll write sys-o, I'll say flushed. Okay. And then after that, I will have 10 seconds of wait and then my transition gets completed. Let's see what happens. You're seeing, right, Ram? You're understanding the kind of scenario I'm trying to create over here. So what we expect is that till 5 seconds also there will not be any insert statement, correct? And then after 5 seconds I say flushing now, and then I say immediately em.flush. I expect an insert statement in the database. Okay, you getting it? Okay. Now I'm here. I say send. You can see this here. No insert statements. After 5 seconds, it says flushing now. Flushed. Oh, it did not fire an insert statement yet. That's bad. After sleep is completed, and then when the transaction is completed, it will fire a flush. After 10 seconds, it will fire an insert. After sleep is completed. Hey, what happened? Insert did not fire at all. Is it? The reason is that it's still 21, right? 21. It fire. Tell me what happened. Chalo, I will be very happy. See how smart this bloody. JB, tell me what happened. I'll be very happy. Give me the answer.
21 is already there. So
yeah, 21 is already there.
There's no setter, so it is not even putting an update also.
Yeah, such a smarty it is. It fired a select statement first for 21, bloody smart guy. And then it says, I already have it. And then you're saying you're not changing the values or anything. Why should I care to fire an insert or a, right? What I'm going to do is, I'm going to put ... over here. Same behavior.
Correct.
Okay, ... change. Now I'm expecting not an insert button, update.
Right.
Correct? I'm expecting an update over here. So I close this. Let's see what happens. But I've given what? I've given a flush. Okay. So I will say send. Okay, will flush after 5 seconds. I'm here, 5 seconds of sleep. And then after 5 seconds, see, it fired an update. It did not wait for my transaction to complete. I'm yet not over here. After 10 seconds, I'm going to get after sleep is completed. But before that, it has fired an update. As a result of what? Tell me. As a result of entity manager dot flush. So for some good reason, for some pressing reason, which must be avoided as much as possible, only and only if you are crystal clear on the behavior of the code that you are writing, you may decide to actually not wait for the flush to happen at the time of committing the transaction. You want the flush to happen immediately after your save is executed. And then you, so in that case, you can very well say entity manager dot flush. Got this?
Clear.
Right. So I think we should, it's almost 6 o'clock now. We should end here today. We entire day did the training. I have recorded everything. I will share this recording with you all. I have been sharing, and I will further share this recording with you all. Just ponder over all of these things. See, as much as I'm really eager to start projects with you all. There is work pending, but there is no point in making you all spend 10 hours for something which should actually take 10 minutes. If you have already gone through this training, the behavior and internal behavior will always help you to develop bug-free applications and put it in production. So this will be very helpful. I think it's worth spending all of this time. Still things are pending. I'll go to my stickies here. You see this custom finder methods. Custom finder methods. So flush we have covered. Very nice. We have covered flush. Entity manager also still needs to be covered. These are the 3 major things that we are going to cover. Right, friends? Correct. So we will call it a day. Yeah. Thank you so much for your participation. Thank you, everyone. And we will continue tomorrow. In fact, we will complete this so that we can complete one JPA as a big subject matter with us so that you can start working on the tasks. Right, friends? Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Have a lovely week. Not weekend, sorry. Lovely evening. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care.